G'day everyone, thought we'd do another video for you, or start the video. Let you know what we've been getting up to over the last week. It was about a week ago that we crossed the Northern Territory border, which was awesome, pretty exciting.
My first time in the Northern Territory.
Crossed the border, and the first night we stayed at another roadhouse called Uluru, just across the border before we headed to Uluru on the next day. There was nothing really exciting at Uluru, was there? It was just a bit of an overnighter, and I think they had a couple of camels there and a few emus, but apart from that, that was about it. But the next day we headed for Uluru, which was, I guess, the whole point of this trip really, was to go and see the rock. So it was fantastic to finally be able to head towards there. So the next day where we stopped at the Ayres Rock Resort. That's where we were staying.
Yes, but you forgot to mention on the way out what tricks everybody.
Oh yeah, we saw this mountain that I think it's called Mount Connor. It's I think some people, when they get to that point about halfway along the road from Uluru, they see that mountain and they actually think it's Uluru, but it's actually a place called Mount Connor.
Yeah. So but we got into the Ayres Rock Resort. It's a really interesting place actually, as far as there's lots of accommodation there. You can stay in apartments, you can stay in cabin tent things, and so it's really, really good.
There's swanky hotels, there's bars, restaurants, all sorts of stuff there. There's an IGA, as well as petrol and all the things you need really.
Yep.
And that's sort of situated about 20 kilometres, I think, from the rock itself. But so yeah, we stayed there for 4 nights. So that gave us 3 days to take a look around and see what we could see. So what did we do on the first day?
We headed off to the Olgas, which are called
Kata Tjuta.
Yes.
Kata Tjuta.
We went into the national park, and we actually went to Uluru first and had a look at the cultural centre, because there was a day that was really quite rainy.
Yeah.
We had 70% chance of rain and we got it. So we thought we'd go via the cultural centre, and then we decided we won't let a bit of rain stop us, so we headed to the Olgas.
Yeah.
And we decided to do one of the walks there. It was really interesting, that walk. It was the Walpa walk.
Walpa Gorge,
walk. So it was a bit of a hike through, but tracking through the rain and stuff was actually worthwhile, because at the end there was a little tiny
a waterfall just
there,
coming off,
really lovely,
off one of the rocks. I think the Olgas is about 34 or 35 of these big granite boulders that sit out about 40 kilometres from Ayres Rock, and Walpa Gorge was just in between two of those big rocks, and it was an interesting walk too, because lots of little wildflowers. It was a lovely spot.
Took lots of photos for Kathleen, because we know she loves all the flowers. So.
It was just nice when you got down to that little waterfall, because I can't imagine that would happen very often in the course of a year.
Yes.
I know it doesn't seem like it would rain very much out here, so it was just nice to be here on a day actually that actually rained. We got to see it, so that was really good.
Yes, that was really good. So we headed back from there, and we just went back to the resort.
Yeah.
Our little caravan resort.
Put the diesel heater on, because it's been really cold.
Yeah, and it's working brilliantly. That's our best investment.
Yeah.
It's a diesel heater. So it's.
But fortunately, the next day we finally got some sunny weather, where it was a beautiful blue sky day. So we decided to actually go and have a look at the rock itself that day, and we'd noticed that, looking at some of the brochures, there was a free walk that you could do that was, I guess the rangers took us around at about 10 o'clock from this place called the Marla car park, which is just one of the car parks right up against the rock, and it was a brilliant walk. It took about an hour and a half. The ranger, Ben, I don't know if you're watching Ben, but he did an awesome job, and takes you from that car park and kind of walks you on this bit of a walk up against the rock and explains lots of things about what you're
Yep.
seeing, and
Saw some rock paintings.
rock
and,
paintings. Yeah, that's right.
Some underground little mole you talked about.
Yeah,
was there, and some of the animals that they're trying to rebreed and get into the areas. So it was really good.
And eventually, on that walk, you get to a waterfall, don't you?
Yes, which had water in it because of the rain.
Oh,
the day
sorry, a
before.
water hole, which
Yeah.
I guess is because there would have been a waterfall.
Yeah, the day before the race. So and then from there,
We had some lunch, and then we went on the other side of the rock, and we did another one of those waterhole walks where, again, incredible scenery. And there was also some Aboriginal artwork in one little section. And
that was really good.
And at the end of that walk, again, you get rewarded by walking up to this waterhole, which, because they have so much rain, or a little bit of rain, there was actually water there. So it was just really lovely to see that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So later that afternoon, you have to go. If you get a chance to go out there, you have to go out to the sunset. So we went out and set up the cameras, everything.
Yeah.
Took a bottle of champagne that we'd brought from Brad and Caitlin's wedding.
Yeah.
Brought it with us and cracked it open there, and we watched the rock change colours with the sun as it went down, and it was spectacular.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it was just amazing to see how the colour of the rock changes as the sun goes down, and you now sort of understand why when you look at tourist postcards, the rock is always that red colour, and that's definitely at sunset. It was just magic. Yeah.
But the areas are like going from the light coloured kind of pinky colour to
Yeah.
into the reds, into the purples. It was just
And we even got lucky when we saw the moon come up, didn't we, above the rock. It was just absolutely beautiful.
it was lovely. So
And that was the second day, wasn't it? Yeah.
yep, second day we were there.
And so the last day we got up before the sun came up.
Yes.
And we decided to do a camel tour. And I mean, Karen had been talking to me for ages about wanting to ride camels.
And Steve was like, "Oh, I don't want to ride a camel. There's no way I want to ride a camel."
But she convinced me to do it, and I'm so glad she did, because it was really, really cool to jump on these camels. How many was in the team? It was about 20 odd camels,
Yeah,
probably?
they're broken up into two groups of about 12.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So and we had our camel, King Louis,
King Louis.
which also was, his nickname was
One
Nut. And we thought, oh, poor King Louis, until we found out that all the camels are males and they all get castrated, except for they could only get one on King Louis. So then we thought, oh, not so poor King Louis. He's actually, that's why he's the king. So, but he was well behaved. He gets a bit amorous and he gets a little bit naughty apparently, but
Yeah.
they give him some lady hormones to make him settle and be quiet.
But it was just so nice that morning, wasn't it?
Wasn't
because the weather was just beautiful.
We saw the sun come up on.
Saw the sun come up over the rock, and it was just awesome. They did a great job, the camel tour company
Yeah,
there.
it was excellent.
Really, really good.
So it was a really good experience.
It was fantastic. So that was probably about what we got up to for Uluru, wasn't it?
Yep, by the time we got back to the caravan, and
Yeah.
had a nice bacon and eggs kind of brekkie because
Yeah,
we were
that's
starving. And
We had our last night, we went to one of the bars there, and
yeah,
we had a meal and a few drinks, so it was just
geckos.
Gecko's Bar, that was it. So it was just a great way to finish off Uluru and all the things that we did there. So it was definitely a bucket list thing to tick off, wasn't it? To eventually
Absolutely.
finally see
Absolutely was.
the rock. And then from there, we travelled out to Kings Canyon. We've been at Kings Canyon today. We're actually a bit tired. Our legs are a bit weary because we've just spent all day at Kings Canyon doing a walk there. And again, it's just an incredible place. If you ever get a chance to come out to Uluru, don't miss the opportunity
When
to
Steve
come
says
to Kings Canyon. It's definitely worth the drive.
When Steve says we did a walk, it usually consists of him dragging me up the hills and then just about carrying me back down. But it was worth it. It was spectacular.
Spectacular, yeah.
I was 200 metres short of actually reaching the rim. It was like,
It was a bit much for you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I ended up going a bit further than Karen. I left her there and got some footage right at the top on the rim itself. And it is just an incredible place.
yeah.
We had some lunch, didn't we, after that?
Yeah.
And then we
Kinda.
decided to walk up the actual Kings Canyon Creek itself, which then meanders
Yep.
up inside the gorge. And
Yep.
as I say, if you get an opportunity to come out to Uluru, don't miss coming out to Kings Canyon as well,
Yep.
because it's so
There's
nice
also
out
another
here.
little gorge here where we're filming now, and that's called
Yeah.
Kathleen Springs.
Kathleen Springs,
Yeah, so it's a nice little walk actually, and it's a really easy walk. It's all been graded out. Excuse me.
Yeah, we did that
That's
yesterday, didn't we? We did the walk up here at Kathleen Springs. And I put the drone up and got some really nice footage of the way that the canyon sort of shapes right down to the end where the springs are itself, where it's just it's a really well signposted and really easy track to walk on for families and things. But again, really worth doing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was worth it.
Yeah.
So, but it's amazing here how you see the landscape change from, sparse trees and you get more trees, but then eventually it's just, you don't actually see the dirt, there's just trees everywhere through
the mulga, I
canyon
think it's
and
like
everything.
mulga bush.
Yeah.
I can hear the guitars playing, I can see the firelight. Gentle breeze was a blowing, the songs a different time. I saw your face in that amber glow, the sweetness of your smile. Time stood still for me, I got those memories for life. Just one love and just one dream was made for you and me. Just one tale to tell for eternity. Just one love and just one dream for all the world to see. We had just one love and dream for you and me. Took those vows and we started out down the long and winding road. Just hope and love and families to show us where to go. Some days we woke up smiling, some days we woke up sad. All the while you were by my side with the children that we just one love and just one dream was made for you and me.
But we're staying, the last couple of nights we've been staying at a place called Kings Creek Station, which is about 30k I think from Kings Canyon itself, but a really lovely campsite. We weren't able to get a powered site here, but we've just gone into their unpowered area, and it's really nice. It's really well set out. They spread people out. You can have a campfire and everything, which we'll probably do tonight. I think we'll go and chop some wood when we get back.
You hear the dingoes howling.
You can. We heard that last night.
Yeah. Mind you, that's one thing I've been quite surprised about with all of this, was have not seen any animals anywhere. So no kangaroos jumping around, no dingoes around the rock.
Yeah.
Mainly just birds.
Yeah, birds only really. Apart from camels in captivity, but other than that, we just haven't seen many wallabies or other animals. Maybe it's too cold. I'm not sure why they're not out. But I guess that's about it. So we might wrap it up here.
No, well, we've got more time in the Northern Territory.
Oh yeah, from here we're going to go to, well, we've got to go to Alice Springs, but we've got to go back through that place called Earl Dunda, which we'll stay again, and then we'll head north up to Alice Springs, where I think we're planning to stay for at least a week, looking at all the things that are around Alice Springs. So I think we might wrap up this video here.
Yep.
And just remember to like and subscribe if you like the content. That way you won't miss the next episode. And I'm also going to try and put a link up on the screen right now where there's a link to our previous videos on this series, which is our half lap series, where we travel from Brisbane all the way through New South Wales, through some of South Australia, Northern Territory, and then eventually back up to the Gulf, and then we'll wind our way back home over a 3-month period, I think it's been in total. Yeah.
Yep. It might take longer, depending on how we feel.
Yeah. Okay, bye for now.
See you guys.